I yelled at my boyfriend for forgetting dinner on Valentine's, despite a gift. I felt guilty, but I'm tired of carrying the load. Hello, Reddit. I have been a long-time observer here, utilizing a throwaway account. I am unsure where to commence, as there is so much happening in our relationship at the moment. Therefore, I will begin with today's events and express my thoughts. I am a 29-year-old woman in a relationship with my 32-year-old boyfriend for about 5 years. We have never celebrated Valentine's Day before, as neither of us was particularly interested. We both believed it was somewhat silly to honor love just once a year when it could be celebrated daily. However, last year, I mentioned to my boyfriend that it might be nice to acknowledge it, especially since we lack romantic gestures at any other time of the year. He agreed, yet nothing materialized. I felt let down and communicated my disappointment that he couldn't make a small gesture after I had expressed my feelings days earlier. You can skip this lengthy section if you prefer. I find it essential to mention that our relationship has been quite unstable from the beginning. Perhaps some background will clarify why I was so upset today. He cheated on me with his ex during the initial months of our relationship. He assisted her with her OnlyFans account, exchanged endearing names during her farewell gathering in front of friends, saved her explicit photos, and possibly even had sexual relations with her, though he claims he doesn't recall. I learned early on about his significant addiction to pornography. He used to spend substantial sums on OnlyFans, accumulating countless explicit videos on various hard drives. I have nothing against pornography, but I did not want to hear about it. I have always made it clear that I was uncomfortable with paying for porn or OnlyFans. Due to a negative relationship experience years prior, I vowed never to be in a relationship that made me feel miserable. Therefore, I was upfront with him, stating that I desired honesty, loyalty, and trust. He broke those commitments within the first few months. I stayed because I have known him for over a decade, and I genuinely love him. He just isn't the person he promised to be, I suppose. I have my own issues. I experience PTSD from childhood sexual abuse, as well as depression, anxiety, and ADHD. I informed him of these challenges before we got together, indicating that I can be quite difficult to be with due to these issues, and that I require a tremendous amount of trust. I assured him that if he couldn't handle it, I would not hold it against him. Nevertheless, he still wished to pursue a relationship with me. When I discovered his pornography, accounts on Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, and OnlyFans, it shattered my trust, leading to our breakup. We both were heartbroken. He vowed to change, expressed his genuine desire for help, and promised to delete everything, including his ex, from all platforms and cease communication with her. A few days later, I relented. I wanted to support him and still desired a relationship. I assisted him in finding a therapist to talk to. I believed this was beneficial. He seemed happier. He mentioned he couldn't be intimate with me for a while because it reminded him of pornography, which he wanted to eliminate from his life. I said I understood. Later, I found out he had subscribed to a new site, watched, and perhaps paid for cam models, and continued saving pornography. He again pleaded for forgiveness and claimed he truly wanted to change. I accepted him back and stayed. A few months later, he lost his job, and I offered him a place to stay while my father employed him. Fast forward to today, and he has relapsed numerous times. He has stolen a laptop and phone he claims he cannot remember, to watch pornography, which he also cannot recall, made visits to a psychiatrist to discuss his memory issues, attended group meetings that were ineffective because he couldn't remember what he had done, and now sees an expensive therapist a few times each month. Our intimate life is virtually non-existent. The last time we were intimate was in August. I have purchased lingerie, sex-related books, playful and sexy games, and conversation cards about intimacy, yet none have been utilized. He insists he is aroused every day but doesn't communicate why he doesn't act on it. He has been struggling with depression and stress after losing yet another job a few months ago, so I have been lenient in both intimacy and household responsibilities. However, I often find myself crying at night, yearning for closeness that he seems unable to offer even though he desires it. He occasionally forgets to give birthday or Christmas presents because he has spent his money elsewhere, leaving me feeling insignificant. I can scarcely cope myself, and I feel obligated to always be there for him. He often remains seated on the couch all day, overwhelmed by depression and unable to accomplish anything. While I understand this, it becomes increasingly difficult to feel like the sole person holding the relationship together. I handle the cleaning, cooking, and organizing. I wish to return to a tidy home with a meal prepared so that I can unwind. Yet, as soon as I walk through the door, I find my boyfriend has not greeted me or taken care of anything. Consequently, I must run out immediately to buy dinner for us both. I am the only one who voices concerns when something feels off. I communicate honestly about my needs, asking how I can improve our situation. I am exhausted from feeling so stressed that I can only shout to inspire a change in him. I am sad, tired, and angry constantly. I used to be a cheerful person, and I still am when I am not around him, which fills me with guilt. I am consistently met with sorrowful expressions in his eyes. It's clear he regrets his actions, and his "I love yous" are often tinged with pain. He seldom takes me on dates but may plan dinner or offer a small gift after an argument. He has lost the ability to apologize sincerely, and I have heard his apologies 1,000 times. I struggle to reciprocate his "I love you" because this isn't the person I fell for. We rarely share laughter anymore. There is no joy in our time together, and I feel as though we are stagnating and dragging each other down. When we are with friends, we pretend everything is fine, but it feels forced and burdensome to me. Now you are welcome to continue reading. Yesterday, I calmly expressed my feelings, with tears streaming down my face, that I could not continue like this unless he demonstrated to me that he genuinely wanted to make things work. I am not prepared to invest more time in a relationship that shows no signs of improvement, and it isn't fair for me to be burdened with sadness just to support him. He also cried, agreed with my sentiments, articulated his desire to become a better man, and expressed sincere remorse. It is my birthday in 2 days, and I have invited my family over for dinner that I will prepare, so I thought perhaps this Valentine's Day he would surprise me in some way since we wouldn't be doing anything for my birthday. I recognize that I may sound spoiled for not giving him anything, but I only wanted to be surprised, especially after all that I have done for him and the challenges I have endured over the years, which led me to keep my feelings to myself to avoid ruining anything. Upon entering the house, I felt a twinge of disappointment because he had not cleaned or prepared in any way. He had purchased a card that said I deserve more than he could give, along with a perfume I didn't specifically request, although I do love perfumes. I appreciated the gift, but my mood soured when he raised his hands in exasperation and stated that we had nothing to eat for dinner. I had already told him the plan for dinner yesterday, and he only needed to thaw the chicken. Since he did not, we had to figure out another meal, and after some disagreement, I frustratingly said, "Fine, I guess we won't eat then." A jerk move, I know. I was just hungry, tired from a lack of sleep, and irritable at the thought of having to clean the entire apartment before my family arrived on Sunday. We went out to shop for dinner around mealtime, ostensibly for my birthday. The tipping point for my frustration was when he claimed he had thawed the chicken before we left, but when I inquired about the ingredients for the sauce, he said he hadn't thought about it. That was the breaking point. I lost my cool, called him immature, and expressed that I felt as if I was doing everything for him. I wished he had at least cleaned the apartment to create a welcoming environment for my return. I lamented that I hoped he would have considered our meal plans prior to dinner time or made dinner reservations so that we could enjoy a peaceful meal without an argument. I shouted that it was unacceptable for me to suppress my sadness to support him as he copes with his own. I yelled that I could no longer endure this, that I did not want to be with someone who cannot take responsibility. I expressed my despair at not seeing any potential for improvement while he isn't contributing to the relationship. I then went shopping alone, asking him to stay in the car because I didn't want to enter the store with him. Upon our return home, I quietly wished him a happy Valentine's Day and gently closed the bedroom door behind me. He hasn't come in, and I know he likely won't, as I am always the one to resolve our conflicts after an argument. I feel heartbroken once more and am filled with guilt. I regret yelling at him when he is dealing with depression and struggles with daily tasks, especially since he thoughtfully bought me a gift. I wish I could have been more reserved, prepared a simple dinner, and enjoyed an evening together. I genuinely believe I deserve happiness, and I was anticipating a surprise today, so I am conflicted. What should I do? Should I feel this guilty? In summary, I had hoped for a surprise on Valentine's Day. Though I received a gift, it felt insufficient, especially since he hadn't cleaned the apartment and asked me about dinner upon my arrival, despite having all day to do so. This led to my outburst, and now I feel terrible about it.